succeeding the first time. I think you know how it goes. And today, we're gonna put that adage to the test once more. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me on TSC Autovlogs here for another video. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can tell by the title, yes, this is round 2 for my attempt with the Lux Auto Concepts taillight tint. Not only are we going to be doing round 2 with Lux Auto Concepts taillight tint, but we're also going to be utilizing the good folks over at Dip Your Car to black out one of the emblems on the daily as well. So yeah, it's a tinting and blackout extravaganza. So let's hope this time that it all goes according to plan. Now, just like the last video, I got the taillights all prepped, cleaned, clay barred, all that good stuff. If you're wondering why this is round 2, I'll put a card in this video right now so you can see what happened on my first attempt. Not gonna go into too many details, but obviously there is a reason why we're doing round 2 or attempt 2 on this bad boy right now. So now, as I said before, we got the taillights all prepped and ready to go and taped off. We're gonna pop the garage open, get some more natural light in here, and we're gonna try this for the second time. I really hope, it goes the right way this time. If not, you know, back to that old adage thing that I mentioned before, but let's open up the garage. All right, so you may remember from the last video that I pretty much only had an issue with this little weird area canard thing right here, because Toyota just had to make the headlight cool on the special edition. Cool, I guess. So, yeah, this is what backed me up the last time, but we got everything wiped down, ready to go, so let's see if we can replicate it, but better this time. So let's get into it. Well, this looks a lot better than what I did before, so I think now that I got it tucked, I'm probably gonna start cutting, and then I'll get to tucking around this end, and we'll see what the end product looks like, so stick with us. Hey, look at that. That is a hell of a lot better than what it was before. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. All right, looks like we have a fully wrapped taillight, and it only took me about 15 minutes this time, so I mean, sure it ain't perfect, but it looks pretty damn good. So I'm gonna hit it with a final dose of heat to hopefully lock it down, and then I'll move on to the next one. All right, so the most I guess I could see that I'm like getting out of it is maybe some micro bubbles again in this problem area here, but like very, very minimal. Like I can get them out with heat. So I'm kind of feeling like when this spends more time in the sun, hopefully the heat will dissipate those micro bubbles on its own. But overall, heck of a lot better than last time. So I think I'm about done with this light. I think I'm gonna move on to my second light, and I'll probably start, maybe I'll start on this end just to get it down flat, and then we'll move on. So maybe that way we transfer a little bit more of the air out of this problem area when we lay it down flat that way. So we'll see what happens. But if it all fails, then I'll just do the method that I did here. Hopefully we'll have 2 wrapped taillights here very shortly. All right, so in hindsight, working on this from this side over was a lot easier. So if there ever is a next time, or if you're watching this, start from the flat end first and then work your way over. Whole lot easier. All right, so the most that I got out of this, again, air bubbles, they're not too bad on the problem area of the taillight here. Again, I'll hit that with heat, and hopefully it comes out naturally as well. But I got a little area right here where you can kind of see that there was the overstretching. But honestly, since I'm doing so much better than I did on my first attempt, it doesn't even really bother me that much. I guess you can kind of see the overstretch area, but it's not too bad. I'm gonna live with it. All right, I think that about does it. So we got 2 main tail lights tinted, and now we can move on to the easy part, which is doing the reverse indicators. So I'm gonna let this cool down for a second, take this tape off, and then we'll move on to the easy part. All right, so we actually got a pretty good finished product on the main portion of the headlights. So I'm gonna quickly do my 2 auxiliary lights / reverse indicators, and then we'll see what it looks like compared before and after and side by side and whatnot. So hang on for just a second. Hopefully I can knock these out pretty quick. All right, well, just as expected, the auxiliary light here was a ton easier, so much easier. So that took me maybe about 5-6 minutes. So I'm gonna hit this one with its final heat, and then we won't record me doing the other light because we gotta start taping off this bad boy so that we can actually dip it and black that out too. But we'll still give you the side-by-side comparison, the before and after. So let me work on this, and then we'll get this taped off, and then we'll just keep on rolling, baby. All right, so some time relatively later, we have everything jerry-rig blanked off to prevent overspray, because we'll protect that supersonic red paint. So I think we can start the process now, and the process initially starts with a pre-dip spray, and then about 3 light powder coats, or 3 light dustings of the initial coat of the hyper dip spray, and then we go into about 6 coats of the spray wet, so to speak. So let's see how this works. right, so I think my 3 initial dusting layers are done. Now, it's time to move on to coat probably 1 of 6 or 1 of 8 of the actual hyper tint. So, let's hope everything goes well. Alright, so quick intermission. Probably gonna cut this video a little bit short because it's getting a little bit darker, and obviously, you know, the only thing that takes time on dipping is that you gotta wait for each coat to dry. So I'm probably on like coat 2 of 8 right now. So I'm gonna keep going through with this. I'm gonna let these dry, and then when the sunlight is out again, I'll give you guys the same side-by-side comparison now of what it looks like with everything blacked out and tinted. So with the lights tinted, with this blacked out, we'll show you how it looks like in the after. So stick with us. I'll get back with you guys when the sun's out again, or when it's higher up in the sky again and you get better visuals. So we'll be right back. All right, so day 2 now. Everything is completely finished, and I think the final result is pretty much what I was going for. So overall, I think the process of both products was pretty fluid, pretty easy. Obviously, if you've ever dipped before, or if you haven't dipped before, the longest part of that process is taking the coats and waiting for them to dry to then be able to put on the other coat. So that's what took the longest. That's why we cut the video, so I could go on into the night and do the rest of that. But you can see that the results of the Luxe taillight tint was a lot better and a lot easier than it was the first time around, and obviously that was from me learning a little bit more. So overall, the Luxe taillight tint, boom, good stuff. On to the dip your car process. Again, pretty easy. The 3 dusting layers was easy. The longest part was obviously waiting for the coats to dry on the wet coats and then getting it off. I can't say that I am a fan of using the little plasticky spudge tool, whatever it's called. I mean, I understand to get, you know, the excess out of the corners and the crevices and stuff, but really that kind of just comes out to, if it's a plastic bit, you end up kind of putting like scratches and, you know, some micro scratches in your plastic. So other than that, I mean, that doesn't really bother me too much. It looks pretty good. The Emerald Black, which is the product that I went with, actually, it does complement the already Emerald Black stuff that's on the Corolla as is, so I think it was a perfect fit for it. Like I said, just not a big fan of using the spudge tool and putting little micro scratches in the plastic, but it's obviously the little tiny crevices of the plastic, so not that big of a deal in the long run. But overall, you know, I think it totally accentuates the look of the daily. If you're looking to accentuate the look of any car, be it your daily, your project, your weekender, whatever, if you're looking to offset and make things a little bit darker, these 2 products are definitely the ways to go if you want to accomplish that. All right, so before we cap off the video, obviously, probably the biggest question is, why aren't we doing stuff with the S13? Why aren't we doing stuff with the Silvia? Well, never you worry, little heads, because parts for the S13 are en route right now. They're not the craziest parts. I'm gonna wait to do the full transformation a little bit down the road, because I got some stuff coming up with work that's gonna take me away from the cars. But update on the Silvia for right now, we're getting it legal to drive. We just went and did the VIN verification, and now, because of COVID, we're waiting for an elongated process, which is taking me, it's gonna take me about like 4 or 5 more weeks to get an appointment at any sort of tax collector to get an actual verified title on that thing, to be able to get a license plate and then drive it legally in the States. But that's the reason why we haven't been doing anything with the S13. We took it for its initial drive. That was when I first purchased it. After that, it was a really big runaround for just a lot of representatives not really knowing the process of titling an import vehicle in the States. So I'm putting all this stuff together into a video for you guys so you'll be able to see. So once the car is legal to drive, I'll put all that stuff, all that information together in a video, because I know a couple people were following that process to try and figure out how to get their own JDM imports registered in the States as well. So hopefully that'll be some good information for you guys coming down the pipeline. But yeah, so parts for the S13 are en route. We got some new tires and another part that I won't mention now. Obviously we'll wait for the install video for that, but it should help the drivability a whole lot more in my opinion. But you guys will just have to stay tuned until then. At this point, that pretty much wraps up this video. Hope if you were looking into these two different products or one of these products, hope that helped you out. Again, thumbs up on the Dip Your Car Emblem Blackout kit, and of course, thumbs up to Lux Auto Concepts for their taillight tint, because the stuff is honestly great. Like I said, I might try it again down the road, maybe on a different car, maybe I might switch out the look on this car, but I'm definitely interested to see how much better my skills get the more I do, because you know, practice makes perfect, right? And that's about gonna do it for this video. Of course, if you'd like to give it a thumbs up, if you feel so inclined to support the channel, hit that free red subscribe button. It goes out to show a lot of support from me, and I really appreciate all of you who have subscribed thus far. But with that, I'm out. Take care, YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next one.